Dungeons
and
Dragons. This is Active Enterprises. I am Timothy.
I'm Alex.
and I'm Connor.
And today we're talking about equipment in the new edition of D&D, which is 5.0. And Connor, do you want to talk about the 2 ways to start?
Oh yeah. Okay, there's pre-made classes basically, where you basically get items and you pick the items if they give you a choice. If not, you just take those items. Starting the goal, like you get money basically, and the money you spend them on items like you buy armor or stuff like that, and with the money you get started with. Anyway, let's cover armor.
Well,
So stealth. I'll take stealth. Okay. So stealth. In the new edition, there's advantages and disadvantages to where the game master, he calls for a stealth check and you roll and you add your stealth check, but if your armor has a disadvantage, you take 2d20s and you have to roll them both, and whichever one has the lowest number, that's the one that you take, and that's your stealth bonus. So Alex, you wanna cover? Connor. Yeah, let's do Connor. Connor, you wanna cover tools?
Okay, tools basically, like I'm playing a rogue assassin, and I know that thieves' tools, basically lockpicks, help me a lot in the long run, along with disguise kits, which allow me to disguise different outfits. Like say I could, just using modern reference right now, I could put a tuxedo on and go to a party or a dance room or whatever, or I could just grab on Connor clothes and just walk around in the public without being really looking.
suspicious?
Yeah, it's just, yeah, thank you.
Suspicious.
No, I can't say suspicious.
Suspicious.
Anyway, basically they help you do things and just in general help you in any way. Like arts and tools help you craft stuff. Anyway, Alex, will you cover lifestyle expenses?
I'll cover that.
Lifestyle, sorry.
And with that means every time you walk into a city, you have the choice of how you're gonna live. You have wretched, which is where you literally live on the side of the road with nothing. That you have to pay nothing to do. Then you have your squalid, which is 1 silver piece per day to live, and he's like living in a box or a chest. Not very good. You have your aristocrat, which is like 10 gold pieces at a minimum per day. Also, you have the choice of whenever you walk into the city if you want to split up or stay in a group. But everyone who's ever played knows that the Dungeon Master loves it when you split up.
Yeah, and also just one more thing to add. There's a couple more things on the way that you can live in a city, but besides where it just goes from like squalid to aristocrat, where it goes from one silver piece to like 10 gold pieces. There's some in the middle of that. So today we're talking about customization. So each group has their own set of house rules, and it just allows them to make their games special. And we're joined here today by 2 ladies.
Hannah.
And so, yeah, what's your name?
Hannah.
What's your name?
Alyssa.
Okay. So, Alex, do you want to do multi-class stacking or Connor?
I will. So multi-class stacking is where you have your multi-class, and say you're like a fighter thief, and that's where, so you're level 2, you have 1 level in thief and 1 level in fighter. Well, whenever you get to level 3, you have to choose which one's going to be level 2 and which one's going to stay level 1. And then after that, you pretty much, once you get to level 4, they go even again, unless you don't want them to be even. And now Connor, do you want to talk about multi-class spell casting?
Basically it's really simple. There's a chart in the book which tells you which spells how many spells you can cast per day. And it doesn't matter how many classes you have to cast like that many spells per day. If you're like, say you have like cleric, warlock, whatever, you can only cast that many. Anyway, going on to feats, basically every 4 levels you gain 1 ability point. Now, under customization rules, you can sacrifice this for feats. Now, there's different types of feats, and some are called power hacks. We'll get more into that later. Anyway, we're gonna be feats are basically. Sorry, I forgot to explain. Feats are special or unique abilities that help you play along in the game. Anyway, Timmy, you first. Talk about your ability.
So I chose the ability Savage Attack. Basically, what it does, when you do a melee attack, like if you try to like stick like a sword into someone, if you roll like a 6, and if you want to re-roll it, you can do that with Savage Attack. You can just you can like re-roll your melee attack, and you can choose either of the 2 rolls that you prefer. And so, you want to do it? You want to do yours? Okay,
My favorite feat is Observant because you're supposed to lose an ability point and you don't really. You get a plus in intelligence or wisdom, you get the ability to read lips, and you get a +5 to perception and investigation. It's called a power hack.
Power hack.
Well, I chose mounted combatant, and that's where. So if you're fighting a creature and the creature is smaller than your mount, this is only if you're mounted. If the creature is smaller than your mount, then you have an advantage on melee attacks only. Where an advantage is whenever you have you have 2d20s, you roll them both, and whichever one is higher, that's the one that you choose. Now also you get a forced attack where if they are attacking your mount and it's like, I'm going to stab your mount in the throat with a spear, you can stick your leg in front of the spear and take the blow. And also if somebody casts like fireball on your mount, then your mount pretty much gets the feat evasion, and you can roll the dexterity check, and if you you save it and you win the check, then your mount and you take no damage at all. Alyssa, you want to talk about yours?
I chose Sharpshooter, and Sharpshooters have no disadvantage at long range, and opponents, if they have half or 3/4 range cover, they lose that advantage.
I chose mobile, and basically I get an increase of 10 feet per base. I also get while I use the dash action, I can ignore difficult terrain of any type, and also that basically when if I attack, I avoid a provoking an attack of opportunity on me. Anyway, backgrounds are basically an essential making of a character. Background is basically what they were before. Like you were a soldier and then became a mercenary. The soldier was your background. Now, backgrounds have 4 things: so personality, ideal, bond, and flaw. The personality is how you interact. The ideal is your hopes. The bond is basically your motivation, and your flaw is what pulls you down, your kryptonite, or your just weakness. You know. Anyway, Timmy, tell us your favorite.
So my favorite is the Outlander. Its skill proficiencies is athletics and survival. Its tool proficiencies is you get you get to choose one musical instrument. Its languages is you get to choose one language that they can speak of your choice. Their equipment is like a hunting trap, a staff, and like a trophy from a killed animal, like a lion pelt, like you look fancy. Its feature is the Wanderer. So Hannah, you want to take this one now?
Okay.
Okay, that sounds cool.
My favorite background is the Urchin, where you lived, survived on your own on the streets and nobody took care of you and you had to earn all the money you have, or you had to get all the food and water, that kind of thing. Your skill proficiencies are sleight of hand and stealth. Your tool proficiencies include the disguise kit and the thieves' tools. And your equipment, this isn't all of it, but would include a small knife, a map of the city you grew up in, and a pet mouse. The feature included would be city secrets, and you know all of the paths in any city, or that particular city, and you and your companions can travel between 2 locations in the city twice as fast as speed would normally allow you to.
You know what? That sounds like a tricked out hobo to me.
It does.
Oh,
Yeah. Tricked out hobo all the way, man.
I think I will go ahead. I chose the entertainer, and that's the person upstage, the Elvis Presley, the Justin Bieber. There are 2 skill proficiencies, are acrobatics and performance. Acrobatics being doing backflips. You get a bonus for any time you're doing a backflip, a front flip, any of that. Your performance would be stalling for time on stage. You get a bonus to anything doing that. Their tool proficiencies are a disguise kit and 1 instrument of their choice. Their equipment is like a lock of hair from an admirer, or a instrument, preferably the one that you are proficient in. Otherwise, that'd kind of be weird. So, also their feature is that they have by popular demand, where they can always find a place to perform, like always. So Connor, what do you want to do?
I was thinking Sage. Basically, they're the guys who know the lore. They have skill proficiencies in Arcana and History. They speak 2 of your choice of languages. Their equipment is just a bottle of black ink, a quill, a small knife, a letter printed out to colleague, and a belt pouch of gold pieces. And they also have the feature of basically Researcher, where you know exactly where any information of lore is. Like, you know where to find something if you don't know it, and you know if it's hard to obtain or if it's impossible to come by. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
So this was ACT Enterprises, and
And we'll see you next